GOP Congressman Adam Kinzinger is here to weigh in on the bill with a looming deadline. Hey, good morning to you, Congressman. Good to see you.
Me too. Thanks for having me. It's a weird time.
It certainly is. You might say, this is kind of like an 11th hour decision that Congress is facing. What are you expecting before midnight?
Not much. I think before midnight we'll end up doing what's called a short-term continuing resolution. So I don't think there's going to be any solution out here. We'll pass maybe a week or two kind of punting into the future. This is what gets so old about how we have begun to work out here is we always take it up to the deadlines. We always punt it a week or two, and then somehow we come to an agreement. But look, what the Democrats are proposing, there will be zero Republican support for this broader, what we call reconciliation package with free everything that's supposedly free. And by the way, if it was free, we probably would have implemented it a long time ago. That's not going to get any Republican votes. So it really comes down to how they can wrangle the votes together themselves.
Congressman, I'm guessing Anita and I are going to be bouncing back and forth here as far as the topics are concerned, but I want to look ahead to October 18th because I would argue the much bigger crisis that is looming is the debt ceiling. I want to quote something that Jamie Dimon, he's the head of our country's largest bank, said. He says, we should never even get this close. Shouldn't we say if this country defaults on its debt that you and every other lawmaker has failed in your job?
Oh, 100%. I think 100%. So here's where people get confused. They start confusing the debt limit with spending bills or a government shutdown. I want to be clear. They're two very different things. The debt limit is simply that there is a statutory limit in which the United States can go into debt even if we've spent the money. So it's basically paying the credit card. So it's you thinking like, gee, I want to save money on some of our bills. I'm not going to pay my credit card. Well, that may save you money in the very short term, but in the long term, it's going to be really damaging. That's the same thing. And as we approach $30 trillion in debt, the one thing the United States has going for it is that the full faith and credit of the United States is believed in, as it should be. If we get close to that debt limit, people will not believe in it. You'll see skyrocketing interest rates, and that's when debt becomes a real crisis. I voted to increase the debt limit yesterday because I don't think it's something we can play around with.
All right, well, I want to move on right now to talk to you about the border situation. There's a lot of criticism about, the way it's being handled by the president. People from a number of countries are coming over into the United States, many of them unvaccinated, and, they're being released into the country with a simple notice to appear at some point. I mean, you're on the Intelligence Committee, and, you look at these potential terror threats. I mean, I want to ask you, how worried should we be as a country about our safety?
Well, I think we should be worried. I don't think we should fearmonger, and a lot of people fearmonger. I think we have to look at what's going on at the border and say, these are people in really desperate situations and have compassion for it, but recognize that we as a free nation have a right to set our immigration policy, and this is why I think we need absolute border security. It's, I've worked the border as a guardsman, but I also think we have to do comprehensive immigration reform, and 80% of Americans agree on comprehensive immigration reform when you explain it, but both sides just kind of hold on to their moment. And so I'm all for border security. I think the administration has handled this really wrong. If you look at, the pictures of border agents whipping Haitian migrants, you find out that's not whipping at all. It was a guy holding his lasso and his horse, but yet we have all these false remembrances of what's going on. We need to just be grown-ups about it, fix the problem, and recognize there are cartels using this as human trafficking to make a lot of money.
Let me shift again. I want to talk about what's been playing out the last couple of days with some of our military's top brass. They've been getting grilled. You are a veteran of the Afghan war. Personally, I've watched very closely the last couple of days, and I'll leave the argument over how the exit of Afghanistan was handled to the folks at home. One thing that has bothered me watching this play out, Congressman, is the tone and the way some lawmakers are speaking to these generals. To that point, yesterday, your colleague Liz Cheney actually apologized. How has that sat with you the last couple of days? Just the tone and the way these people have gone to West Point and they have, they've risked their lives for our nation, and yet to be scolded in the way that they have. Has that bothered you?
It has. Liz was right. I would encourage anybody to watch that. Now, it's not saying there has to be civilian control over the military. And I think if I'm questioning a general, for instance, I am in the seat of power over him. And that's how it should be. We have civilian control. but you have to show respect. And what's happened lately is that if all of a sudden General Milley, for instance, is on the hot seat, and this can somehow reflect on Donald Trump or this can reflect on Joe Biden, he becomes the person we attack. And there has been such a lack of basic respect in this country for each other. And the problem is, if the Democrats do it to us, we say that gives us permission to do it to them, and vice versa. We just need to grow up. And watching these, good people who deserve to have these hard questions asked be treated like garbage is really sad. It really is a moment. I wish we could all take a deep breath and say, man, our leaders deserve better. We deserve better as a country.
There have been calls for the general and to resign, and also for Secretary Austin to resign as well. What are your thoughts on that?
So I don't really jump into the you should resign category all that much. Look, I am very furious at how Afghanistan ended. I actually thought we should have stayed in Afghanistan. Probably most of you know my position on Afghanistan. But I also think they were given a direct order by the president. The president of the United States owns this decision. They carried out this decision. We do have a lot of questions. Why wasn't Kabul secured? Why did they secure just the airport? But I think to jump to this and say, you should resign out of protest with Joe Biden, or you should resign because you did a bad job. I don't play that game. That's, as General Milley said yesterday, if I resign, it is a deep and intense political statement that I'm not sure was appropriate necessarily for him to make. That's between him and, I guess, his conscience.
Hey, Rob, just about out of time, but you are on the record. You support the infrastructure bill. A lot of us here in Chicago, we drive under these bridges and we get very nervous, and it looks like it could be DOA. Are we going to see any changes on that front? Are we going to see more support as all the bickering ends? Are we going to see some new roads and bridges here in Chicago?
Yeah, I hope it gets done. I mean, really, in this case, this is all in the Democrats' court. The progressives and the Democrats have said they have 60 votes against their own bill, against Joe Biden's own bill. So they have to put up votes. There will be a number of Republicans that vote for this thing. But trust me, if there's 60 Democrats that are playing games with this because they want the bigger package that they don't even know what's in that, it's not going to pass. So I hope it does, and I hope we get there. I'm confident we will. But unfortunately, that's out of my court at this moment.
Congressman Adam Kinzinger, thank you so much for coming on this morning. Good luck with everything in Washington.
Thank you. You bet. Take care.